Hey there, this is Damn at Dawn from DGG, and I just wanted to do the second episode of the Marionette development project. So today I wanted to focus primarily on the companion doll and their personality, like where they came from. One of the things that I really wanted to focus on is the companion doll's connection to their owner, whoever that may be. One thing you can use as a tragic backstory, which is, the typical catalyst for adventure, is, let's say, for whatever reason, the owner of the companion doll has some kind of tragic end, or they grow up and grow old and pass away, and that loss of the connection kindles the fire inside the companion doll to life. When that happens, the companion doll awakens, and they want to find some of that connection again. Their need for that bond with another being is so strong that they awaken and start pursuing it. Another thing you could do is say, maybe this is more of a heroic companion doll where their owner is poor and ill, and the companion doll awakens and thinks, I'm going to protect this person even though it hurts me that I have to go out into this wide world. So even though I have to be alone, I know that I'm doing something for them, and so they go to accumulate wealth to help treat their ill or fading owner. There's lots of things you can do with a companion doll. You can also go against type, where you have a companion doll who awakens after being cast aside and decides to internalize that need for a bond and fuel off of the volatile emotions that creates. And all of a sudden you have this companion doll, a barbarian, who harnesses their rage based on fighting past their own limitations for this need of codependency. There's so many different ways. From a design perspective, I really wanted to focus in on the companion doll's need to establish bonds with others. They make really good, from their personality at least, they make really decent charisma-based characters, a lot of sorcerers, bards, or maybe even a warlock, perhaps a fey creature awakened a companion doll in order to help guide or cause mischief. You could go in all different directions. You could have a celestial being, or maybe even an abyssal or an infernal being become this companion doll's patron, and so in order to stay alive they must execute this contract, and that's what grants them their life and power. That could be a really interesting scenario. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but a lot of the normal things that I put in here are very codependency based, like I value my usefulness based on what I can do for others. They have a hard time controlling their emotions when they see others struggling or in pain. That could come into play when the party's dealing with, say, a baron or a noble who has let their lands become impoverished, and the companion doll just sees pain and struggle day after day as they get closer. They are going to unload on that noble if the party doesn't try to talk them down. So that could create some interesting dynamics. I no longer trust children. They all grow old and leave. That's also some trust issues. Perhaps that companion doll was, abandoned, that sort of thing. Really, here's another fun one. I struggle to remember that I'm no longer a child and that my life is now as my beloved doll. One of the side stories that I was thinking about putting together is a companion doll whose owner cared for them so much that kept them with them, in their room or what have you, for their entire life, and as they grew old and passed away instead of dying, their spirit kindled the life in their companion doll, and now they're awakened to the world. But now, because they are that companion doll, they feel that desire to connect with other people, and it's really hard because as this being that, a porcelain doll, that uncanny valley effect where you see something that is imitating you but not quite right, and it gives you kind of that weird, eerie, creepy vibe. So I actually put that as a mechanic into the companion doll with the companion spirit. You connect powerfully with others for a short time. However, afterwards, people find the companion doll creepy and unsettling. So that uncanny valley effect is in play, and that's why they gain the friends cantrip. Because initially you're like, oh, it's cute and loving, and then the longer you're with it, the more unsettled you become. And so when they focus in on that empathic link, it's kind of a double-edged sword. The closer other beings get to you, by, say, using the friends cantrip, the more they become unsettled by this being that just wants to get close. Also, with the empathetic link, you run into a thing where they have a knack for connecting with people. So that means that they gain proficiency in... Wow, that looks like it cut off some letters there, but yeah, I think that's just a loading issue. Anyway, they gain proficiency in insight and persuasion. So a lot of the companion doll's focus is a lot on the kind of the diplomatic, empathetic character who is trying to reach out and either understand or change the ideas of other people, or maybe even manipulate them in order to survive in the world. Now, like I said earlier, you could totally go against type. There's nothing saying you can't have a companion doll paladin who is a champion for all of those around them and has turned their need for codependency into something where they try to find their own value in their deeds for society as a whole, and that's how they get that social need of finding a bond with others filled. So, I mean, you can really take it any direction. I just wanted to point out some of the ideas that I thought were neat features for this. And in the next episode, I'm going to cover the show puppet. And after I finish the show puppet and the stuffed guardian, I'm going to go into how to put these into Roll20 for characters. Because I know that the Roll20 character sheet can get frustrating, especially if you're putting in custom content. So, as one of the things that I wanted to do with my development episodes is at the end do a how-to on implementing them in Roll20. And I hope that'll be useful for y'all. I wanted to give a quick shout out for all of the patrons that we have. We are going strong, not just for them, but because of them. We're doing great. And a lot of their support and their feedback is what's going to make our content better. Now, right now, our patrons are the only ones who have early access to the Marionette. If you want to get early access to it and help with the design process, because we're still going over the fine points and making sure that some of the things are balanced. For instance, in the last video, I talked about the armor class calculation, and you'll see that it's changed to where the armor class calculation is dropped by 1 on all of these, and that was after some mid-level playtesting. We discovered that the Stuffed Guardian, along with the others, had some power creep that we didn't think was very fair to the other species that are in the game. Anywho, we did update that, and we're also looking at some other things that we might tweak or polish moving forward. Right now, though, I think we're on a solid track. And I'm excited. Like I said, if you wanted early access, you need to be a rare or higher patron for the Patreon, and if you select the link in the video and you're not a patron, it'll direct you to the Patreon if you're interested. Alright, enough of the business spiel. I just wanted to give you guys a quick development heads up and show you what I've been working on. From here, I'm just gonna head out, but before I do, like I said, a great shout out for those legendary Patreon patrons who've been really helping us out. And for the rest of y'all, all those players and DMs out there that are working hard to keep our craft alive, stay legendary. We believe in you. Alright, with that being said, peace.